There's lots of reasons why people either have food or don't have food, eat or don't eat. Now, there could be 25, 30 different reasons globally, but we're going to pair those into categories. The major one is poverty, but before we get there, let's talk about some other problems. First off, the cost of education. Here, you don't think of cost of education until you go to college, because that's when it becomes a private sector issue. All this other stuff is paid for, all the lights and everything, you don't pay for that. Now, that's not the case around the world. In Cameroon, they didn't have free education until the year 2000, pretty recent. South Sudan, education costs $5,000, which is not a ton of money until you realize that the average income is only $1,000 a year. So that ensures that only the wealthiest even have an education at all and can afford food. In Venezuela, pre-K alone is 22 grand. 6 through 10, 27.5. 11th grade is 30 grand on its own. 12th grade is another 30 grand on top of what you just paid. That's in Venezuela. So as you can see, if you can't get an education, then it's difficult for you to have job opportunities, which makes it difficult for you to eat. Culture. This also goes into religion. It goes into half a dozen different things that what we call culture. In Afghanistan, after the Taliban takeover, girls were not allowed in school at all. So if you have half your population not allowed to be educated, they're not allowed to, or not able to be in the workforce and earn money, and therefore they can't eat. It's that simple. Niger, Ethiopia, some of these countries where culturally education just isn't valued, is important as other things. And so there's a lot of people that just simply make the choice to not go to school even though school is available. Infrastructure. We don't think about this here because busing was made, equal opportunity was seen as an opportunity or a mandatory right for all people to get an education here in this country. Now, that's simply impossible in other places. In the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, only 15% of roads are paved. You can't have busing. You can't go to school. In Chad, 0.5% paved. If you have to walk to work or walk to school with no shoes, there is no busing, there is no carpooling, any of those things, you're simply not going to go. Poverty. In Chad, most people live on about $2 a day. The DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, it's less than $2 a day. South Sudan, $1.25 a day. So there's not very much food one can obtain with incredibly impoverished society. Furthermore, if you make this, how are you going to get roads? How are you going to get an education? How are you going to change culture? How do you have a platform? Poverty is a serious issue. And nearly all issues where people can't eat is going to go into one of these 4 categories.